pollution and environmental stress. Okay, it is the since the industrial revolution development has depended heavily on industries, uh, fossil fuels, large scale resources extraction. In this caused air and water pollution, deforestation, loss of biodiversity is there, climate changes are there. Okay. The main climate changes as global challenges is um, like rising global temperature due to greenhouse gases emission have become a major environmental issues. Impact includes, okay, melting glaciers and rising sea levels, extreme weather events, extreme weather events means floods, droughts, and cyclones like this. Okay, threats to the agriculture and food security also. Okay, third one is sustainable development as a global goal. In the world has recognized that development must be sustainable. In the concept was popularized by the uh, Brundtland reported in 1987. A development that meets present needs without compromising future generations. Okay, in the global environmental conference and agreements, some we have some global environmental conferences and agreements are there. Several international efforts have shaped global environmental policies. One is Stockholm Conference in 1972, first major global summit, environmental summit. This is the Stockholm Conference in 1972 is the first global environmental summit. Second one is the Rio Earth Summit in 1992. Okay, introduced Agenda 21 and Sustainable Development. Okay. The third one is Kyoto Protocol. I think everyone know this about the Kyoto Protocol in 1997. It introduced in 1997. What is the Kyoto Protocol? A binding emission reduction targets. Sorry, binding emission reduction target. That is the another one is Paris Agreement. Okay, Paris Agreement in 2015. Global. What is the cause of Paris Agreement? Main cause is global commitment to limit warming below 21 degrees centigrade, 2 degrees centigrade. Sorry, a global committed to limit warming below 2 degrees centigrade, and it means reducing the general temperature reduced to the 2 degrees temperature. Third one is the fifth one is the Sustainable Development Goals. It means short form is SDGs. Okay, adopted by the United Nations in 2015. Adopted by the United Nations in 2015. Goal 13. It means goal 13 is climate action. Goal 15 is life on land. Life and land. Okay. 7 clean energy. Goal 7 is clean energy. These goals aim to balance development with environmental protection. Okay. With these goals aim to the balanced development with environmental protection. Sixth one is the shift towards green economy. Another one is shift towards green economy. Many countries are now investing in renewable energy. Okay, renewable energy means solar panels, wind energy, hydropower energy. Next one is electrical vehicles also used for to reduce the pollution, and sustainable agriculture, eco-friendly infrastructure. These are the shift towards the green economy. Okay, nations followed the green economy model. Okay, in global equality in environmental relationship, development nations have contributed more historically to pollution. Okay, more historical to pollution. Developing nations faces pressure to grow economically. while else protecting the environment. Okay, the creates debates on climate justice and common but different responsibilities. Okay, another one is major global environmental issues today. Okay, first one is the global warming, second one is the ozone depletion, and then plastic pollution in oceans. This is the major global environmental issue. What is it? Plastic pollution in oceans. Some thousand tons of plastic pollution accumulated in the oceans. It's very highly dangerous to marine life. Okay, the next one is the desertification. Okay, third one, last one is the water scarcity and biodiversity loss. Okay, in this global scenario, some development environmental are deeply interconnected. The future depends on adopting sustainable development pathways that ensure economic progress will conversing the planet's uh, ecological balance. Okay, I have I have to share that some PPTs is there. Uh, Everyone is the show that development economics. Okay, need for sustainable development. What is the need for sustainable development? Okay, in this, balance economic progress with environmental protection. Okay, another one is uh, ensure resource for future generation. Okay, uh, next one is sustainable development is the key approach. Okay, ensure the future promotes eco-friendly technology. Responsible consumption also is there. A major global development, economic growth, industrialization, improving living standards. It means development and environmental key points are development refers to economic growth, industrialization, and improved living standards. Okay. Next one is the environment. Environment is called air, water, forest, biodiversity. It includes air, water, forest, biodiversity, and natural ecosystems are there. Rapid development has caused serious ecological challenges uh, across the world, has caused serious ecological challenges such as pollution, deforestation, climate change, biodiversity loss. Also is there. Okay. Next one is need for sustainable development. Mainly need for sustainable development is sharp development balance economic progress with environmental protection. Okay, it ensures that natural resources are used wisely so they remain available for future generations. Okay, uh, it promotes an adaptation of eco-friendly technologies such as renewable energy and clean production methods. It encourages responsible consumption and production, reducing waste and pollution also. Okay. Overall, it is the key approach for achieving long-term growth while safeguarding the planet. Okay. Uh, Next, major global environmental issues. What is the major global environmental issues are climate change, air pollution, water pollution and scarcity, deforestation, biodiversity loss, and land degradation, and waste and plastic pollutions. In this, is the first one is the climate change. Climate change refers to the long-term changes in global temperature and weather patterns. Okay, it is mainly caused by the increase in greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane from industries, vehicles, and deforestation. Okay, a major impacts include a rising global temperature, melting glaciers and polar ice, sea level rises. Okay, more frequently droughts, floods, cyclones, and heat waves also is there. Climate change threaten to agriculture, water supply, and human survival. A second one is the air pollution. What is air pollution? Air pollution occurs when harmful gases and particles contaminate the atmosphere. What is the sources of air pollution? Like vehicle emissions, industrial smokes, burning of fossil fuels and biomass. Okay. What is the effects of with air pollution? Effects, main effects is respiratory diseases like asthma and lung cancer, accelerate damaging crops and movements and global warming due to the pollutants. Okay, and next one is the water pollution scarcity. Okay, water pollution results from a contamination of rivers, lakes, and oceans by industrial waste, sewage discharge, agriculture chemicals. Agriculture chemicals means fertilizers, pesticides, uses more uses of fertilizers and pesticides. Water scarcity is the increasing due to overuses of groundwater, unequal distribution of water, climate change, reducing rainfall also is there. Uh, Deforestation. What is deforestation? Deforestation is the large scale cutting down of forest for agriculture, urban expansion, and logging and mining. Okay. Main impacts. What is the impacts of deforestation? Main impacts of loss of wildlife habitat, increased CO2 levels contributing to climate change, soil erosion, and reduced rainfall. Forests are vital for maintaining ecological balance is there. Next one is the biodiversity loss. What is the biodiversity loss? Biodiversity refers to the variety of plants, animals, and microorganisms on Earth. Okay, biodiversity loss is caused by habitat destruction, pollution, a climate change, and overexpression of species. Okay, what is the effects of biodiversity loss? Main effects is ecosystem imbalance, threatened to food chains. Okay, a loss of medicinal and genetical resources is there. Okay, another one is the land degradation. What is the land degradation? Land degradation refers to the decline in soil quality and productivity. Okay, in these causes, main causes included overgrazing, deforestation, excessive use of chemical fertilizers, and deforestation. What is the impacts of main impacts? Reduced agriculture output and food insecurity, increased poverty in rural areas. Okay, last one is the waste and plastic pollution. Uh, Rapid urban growth has increased the generation of solid waste. Okay, plastic pollution is the major issue because of plastics. Do not decomposable easily. Pollutant oceans and waterways. Okay, harm marine animals through injection. Okay, improper waste disposal leads to soil and water contamination, spread of diseases. Okay, next one. Okay, climate changes causes. What is the causes of climate changes? Burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, gas, and industrial emissions, deforestation, reducing carbon sinks, agriculture, releasing methane. First one, we discuss about the burning of fossil fuels. What is that burning fossil fuels? Coal, oil, gas. If fossil fuels are the primary source of energy for industries, transportation, and electricity generation. Everyone know this fossil fuels. Okay, when coal, oil, and gas are burned, they release large amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Okay, this COT traps heat in Earth atmosphere, creating an greenhouse effect, which leads to global warming. Okay, examples are coal-based power plants, petrol and diesel vehicles, gas powered industries. Okay, impact. What is the impact? Rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and extreme weather events. Okay, second one is the industrial emissions. What is the industrial emissions? Rapid industrialization or increased pollution levels worldwide. Okay, factories and industries emit greenhouse gases such as CO2, methane, nitrous oxide is there. Industries like cement production, steel manufacturing, and chemical plants contribute heavily. Okay, industrial process also release harmful pollutants that worsen air quality. Also, is there? Okay, main impact is the global warming along with health hazards and environmental degradation. Okay, third one is the deforestation reducing carbon sinks. Deforestation reducing the carbon sinks. Deforestation reducing the carbon sinks is in this forest act as carbon sinks because trees absorb CO2 during photosynthesis. Large scale deforestation for agriculture and urban expansion and logging reduces in the earth's ability to absorb carbon dioxide. When trees are cut or burned, the stored carbon is released back to the atmosphere. What is the impacts of deforestation? The main impact is increased greenhouse concentration and disruption of rainfall patterns. Next one, coming to the agriculture releasing methane. Okay, agriculture releasing methane means agriculture is the major contributor to climate change due to the emission of methane and nitrous oxide. In this, uh, livestock are producing methane during digestion. Rice paddies releasing methane due to water logged conditions. Excessive use of nitrogen fertilizer producing nitrous oxide. Okay, what is the impacts? Acceleration, warming, and environmental imbalance is there. Okay, coming to the next slide, climate change impacts. What is the impacts of climate changes? In detail, climate changes refers to the long-term changes in global weather patterns and rising average temperatures at human activities, especially the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, have instead of the natural greenhouse effect leading to the significant environmental impacts. Okay, first one is the rising global temperature. What is the rising global temperature? The earth average surface temperature and be increasing over the past century. The warming trend result from the accumulation gases in earth atmosphere. Okay, atmosphere. Okay, even small increases in average temperature can lead to significant changes in climate partners. Okay, what is the consequences of rising global temperature? Uh, Main consequences of heat waves become more frequent and intense. Increased evaporation affects water cycles and soil moisture. Heat stress impact human health, wildlife, and agriculture also is there. Okay, next one is the melting ice caps and glaciers. Okay, what is the melting ice caps and glaciers? Higher global temperature causes polar ice caps and mountain glaciers to melt at ac- accelerated rates. Okay, the Arctic and Antarctic regions are witnessing dramatic ice loss. Okay, what is the consequence? Loss of freshwater resources that depend on glaciers meltwater. Okay, wildlife such as polar bears and penguins lost their habitat also. Okay, third one is the sea level rise threatening coastal areas. What is the extreme weather events in this? In these consequences include coastal flooding and regions. What is that? Mana, okay, increased coastal flooding, erosion, salt into the freshwater system, and aquarists to major cities, including last coastal communities, is there. Okay, in this communities, extreme weather events, climate changes, extreme weather events are mainly cyclone and hurricanes, heavy rainfall, floods, and droughts everywhere. Okay, what is the air pollution? Air pollution detail notes. Okay, sources, vehicles, industries, burning, biomass, effects, asthma, lung diseases, accidents, and major concern in urban areas. Okay. Sources of air pollution. Air pollution is the mainly caused by human activities. Mainly sources uh, in include as a vehicle, atmospheric automobile uh, release pollutants such as carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide. These are the main increasing that uh, pollution is there, increasing industries there, factories, power plants, and manufacturing units emit large amounts of smoke, sulfur dioxide, and greenhouse gases is there. Okay. In burning biomass, burning of wood carp reduces is there. Uh, Dung cow eating releases thick smoke and harmful practices is there. A major concern in urban areas, effects of air pollution is there. Okay. What is the effects of air pollution? What is that effects of air pollution? Ask to unmute all. Okay, everyone is unmuted. Okay, right then. Respiratory diseases. Air pollution has the harmful impacts on health and the environment. Respiratory diseases. Polluted air can cause a serious health problems such as asthma, bronchitis, lung infections, lung cancer, and children and readily proper most vulnerable. Okay. Major lung and heat problems is there. Some lung and heat problems. Long-term exposure to polluted air reduces lung capacity and increasing to risk of heat diseases. Acid rains. What is the acid rain? Pollutants like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide mix with rainwater farming, acid rain, and damages. Okay. Crops and forest salinity, fertility, building and movements is there. Taj Mahal. Okay. Example, Taj Mahal. Major concern in urban areas, air pollution is especially severe in cities due to high population density, heavy traffic concentration of industries, construction dust, and many metropolitan cities levels of surrounding that winter months is there. Okay. Some air pollution is there. What is the water pollution scarcity? In water pollution meaning is the water pollution occurs when harmful substance contaminated rivers, lake, and like major causes of water pollution, industrial waste, industries, toxic chemicals, heavy metals, and unrated waste into the water bodies. Common pollution including mercury and lead industrial acids. Okay, these are the main causes. Aquatic ecosystems make water unsafer for human use. Okay, sewage and domestic waste is there. Urban areas releases amount of uh, long amount of the impact of is there. One is the impact is one is the what is the impacts uh, agriculture runoff. Agriculture runoff means the emission of fertilizers and pesticides. Uh, Fertilizers eutrophication and some is there. Uh, Air pollution runoff, water scarcity, freshwater is there. In this, ఎయిర్ పొల్యూషన్ మీన్స్ వాటర్ స్కారిటీ అంటే ఎప్పుడైతే వాటర్ కంటామినేషన్ అవుతుందో మనకు ఆ వాటర్ని మనము ఆ, సరిగా వాడుకోలేము ఎందుకంటే అగ్రికల్చర్ నుంచి పెస్టిసైడ్ ఎక్కువ అయిన కొద్దీ ఆ, అది ద డైరెక్ట్ ఎఫెక్ట్ టు ది హ్యూమన్ హెల్త్ ఆల్సో ఓకే reason for freshwater storage. Okay. Uh, okay, done. It is the one of the major one is the leads to the health crisis and conflicts is there. Some okay. Uh, unical district climate change consists of water pollution and scarcity. Polluted water whenever is we had to the that polluted water is causes the diarrhea, chlorella, density, hepatitis is there. These are the main consequences there. Okay. Then uh, environmental damage is there. One is the environmental damage. What is the environmental damage? Ecosystems are destroyed. Fish and other organisms die due to the toxic contamination. Conflicts over water scarcity. Fresh water can lead to dispute between states, countries, communities. Water conflicts are becoming a major global concern. Okay. What is the causes of deforestation? Agriculture deforestation means agriculture expansion. Forest charges cleared for agriculture, mining, urbanization, reduced biodiversity, increasing carbon emission also is there. Large areas of uh, efforts are clear to create farmland for crop and plantations. Shifting cultivation and commercial mm, farming is there. Forest also removed for cattle grazing. Loss of natural habitats reduced fast uh, is there. Some problems is there. The urbanization in infrastructure is development is some urbanization main housing projects is useful to that pollutants and permanent loss of forest ecosystem. Uh, okay, some forest increasing carbon emissions is there. Effects of deforestation, reduction of biodiversity. Forest home millions of species of plants, animals, and microorganisms. When forests are destroyed, species lost their habitats. What is the consequence? Wildlife extinction, uh, disruption of food chains, loss of medicinal plants, and genetical process research is there. Increasing carbon emission. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and act as the carbon sink. Cutting down to forest reduces. Okay, climbing some accelerated global warming, climate change is there. Soil erosion is there. Soil erosion and degradation is the main problem. Okay, increasing carbon emission. Okay, so tree roots bind the soil together. Uh, without a reduced soil fertility, disturbance of water cycle. Okay, conclusions. Okay, mainly next one is the biodiversity is loss. Hmm? What is the biodiversity loss? What is the biodiversity loss? Biodiversity loss means detailed meaning of biodiversity loss. Uh, this is the causes of biodiversity loss. The main reason uh, biodiversity loss is the destruction to the national habitats such as forest, wetlands, and grasslands. Human activities like deforestation, urban expansion, mining, agriculture, reducing life species of wildlife. Okay, in this species extinction, when habitats are destroyed, many species cannot survive. Overexploitation, poaching, and climate changes further increasing extinction rates. Okay, for example, endangered tigers, rhinos, elephants, may plant species disappearing before being discovered. Extinction is irreversible and reduced Earth natural resources. Natural wealth is there. Hmm. Threat to ecosystem sustainability. What is the ecosystem sustainability? Biodiversity ensures health and sustainability ecosystems. Each species plays a role in maintaining big balance such as pollutants, nutrient cycling, okay, uh, soil formation, climate regularization. When species disappear and ecosystem become weak and unstable. Mm. Impact, what is the impact of threatened to ecosystem? Increased vulnerability to diseases, pests, and climate changes. Okay, impact on food chains. All living organisms are interacted through food chains and food webs. Loss of one species affects others that depend on it for food or survival. Example, decline in insects reduce food for birds, loss of predators increasing herbivores, damaging vegetation. This disputes is the natural uh, balance of ecosystem. Impact on human livelihoods. Uh, uh, in this, uh, in food fisheries, medicines, timber and raw materials, clean water and air. Okay. Coming to the land degradation and deforestation. Land erosion is soil erosion, overgrazing, unstable farming, and land degradation is and deforestation means land is the one of the most valuable nature resources supporting agriculture, forests, and human settlements. However, Due to increasing human pressure and improper land use, land degradation and deforestation have become major global environmental challenges. Okay, what is the meaning of land degradation? Land degradation refers to the decline in the quality and productivity of land due to natural and human activities. It results in the loss of soil fertility, vegetation cover, and land's ability to support life. Meaning of deforestation. What is the meaning of deforestation? Deforestation is the search from land degradation in which fertilize and gradually turns into desert-like condition, especially in arid and semi-arid region. Okay, causes of land degradation, desertification. Okay, one is soil erosion. Soil erosion occurs when the top fertile layer soil is removed by wind by water. Okay. Deforestation and improved farming increase in regions. Next one is the overgrazing. Ex- Exclusive grazing by livestock removes vegetation covers. Okay. A loss of fertile land. What is the loss of fertile land? A land degradation reduces the availability of fertile land and farming and forests. Productive land turns into the wasteland due to erosion, deforestation, and nutrient loss. Okay, what is the result of loss of fertility? Food insecurity and environmental balance. Okay, reduced agriculture productivity. What is reduced agriculture productivity means? A land degradation directly affects agriculture. A lower crop yields, reduced soil moisture, increasing dependence on fertilizers, declining farming income, environmental soil impacts. What is the environmental soil impacts? Land degradation leads to desert expansion, loss of biodiversity, migration of people due to poor farming conditions, increased poverty and conflicts of land resources. Okay. Next slide is the plastic waste pollutions. What is the plastic waste pollutions? Uh, Plastic and waste pollution has emerged as one of the most serious global environmental challenges with the rapid urbanization, industrial growth, and increasing consumerization at the amount of waste generated has risen sharply, especially plastic waste. Meaning of plastic waste pollutions. What is the meaning of plastic waste pollution? accum- uh, Plastic and waste pollutions refers to the accumulation of solid waste and uh, okay, plastic and waste pollution refers to the accumulation solid waste materials, particularly non-biodegradable plastic in the environment. Okay, in this we have shared some document is there. I will show up to you. Okay, this one is the not there. What accumulation of non-degradable plastic is the plastic are widely used because they are cheap, durable, and lightweight. So many people are using plastic covers and below some low cheap quality covers are used there, but there is a causes of plastic pollution is there. However, most plastics are non-degradable and some meaning of do not compose naturally for hundreds of years. Source of plastic waste includes single-use plastic bags and bottles and packaging materials, disposable cups, plates, and straws. Industrial plastic waste is there. What is the impact? Main plastic waste piles up in the landfill, streets, rivers, and oceans. In these oceans, harm to marine life. Okay, harm marine life means plastic pollution is especially dangerous of marine ecosystems. Okay, Effects on marine life means a marine animals mistake plastic for food and swallow it. Okay, a plastic blocks digestive system leading to starvation and death. Next one is the sea turtle, dolphins, whales, and fish are severely affected. Okay, plastic also uh, it is so harmful to animals and restricting movement and causing injuries also is there. Okay, microplastic. What is the microplastic? Plastics break down into any thin particles called microplastics. These enter to the food chain and can eventually affected human health also. Okay. Environmental and health impacts. What is the need for environmental and health impacts? What is the environmental health impacts? Plastic and waste pollution causes soil contamination and reducing fertility. Uh, some water pollution and blockage dams leading to floods. Okay, release of toxic chemicals when plastics are burned, spread of disease due to unmanaged garbage. It is also creates unpleasant living conditions in urban areas. Okay. Next one is the need for recycling and waste management. Now, to control plastic and waste pollution, effective solutions are essential. Recycling. First one is the recycling. What is the recycling? Reuse plastic products, reduce waste accumulations, promotes resources conservation and reduces landfill pressure. Okay. Second one is the waste segregation. Separating biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste at the source helps efficient disposal. Okay. Third one is the ban on single-use plastic. Many countries are adopting strike rules to reduce plastic consumption is there. Okay. Sustainable alternatives is there. Some sustainable alternatives encouraging cloth bags, paper packaging, and biodegradable materials. Okay. Last one is the scientific waste disposable. Modern landfills, with composting and waste to energy plants can reduce the pollution. Okay. Next slide. North South divide meaning. What is the North South divide meaning? The North South divide is an important concept in global development and environmental studies. It refers to the economic and development gap between the rich countries of the world and the poorer nations. Okay. Uh, Meaning of North South divide. The North South divide describes the inequality between developed and developing countries. It highlights difference in economic growth, industrial development, living standards is there, a technological advancement is there, and environmental responsibility is there. Okay, a gap between development and developing nations are north wealthy, industrialized, and south is poorer, dependent on natural resources. The not developed nations, uh, what is that North developed nations? The global North refers to some wealthy, recognized industrial countries. Is there? Okay. Some uh, characters of the North: high income and strong economics, advanced industries and technology, better infrastructure and healthcare and education is there, high level of consumption and energy use, a major historical contribution to pollution and greenhouse gases emission is there. Example: USA, Canada, Germany, UK, Japan, Australia. And third one is the South developing nations. What is the South nation developing? These are the like poorer, dependent on natural resources, poorer and less industrialization nations, mainly in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. What is the characteristics of South? Lower income and slower income growth, depend on agriculture and natural resources, limited industrialization and technology, higher levels of poverty and unemployment, more vulnerable to environmental okay some India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Brazil, Kenya. These are the poorer countries. Difference between North and South is economy. In economy, global North wealthy and developed, so in South poorer and developing. In this aspect is industry aspect, a global North is the highly industrialized and South is less industrialized. Resources use. What is the resource? In resources aspects, global North high consumption is there, but global in South, globally South is dependent on natural resources. Environmental impact aspects, major in South, in North major polluters historically, but South faces impact more several. Okay, importance of North and South divide. It explains global inequality in development. It is central to debates on climate justice, sustainable development, resource sharing, international aid and concentration. Okay. Next one is North-South divide environmental dimension. In this, the North-South divide is not only an economic gap but also has a strong environmental dimension. It highlights the unique, unequal responsibility and unequal suffering of nations in global environmental problems, especially climate changes. Okay, first one is the North responsible for historical emissions. In global North, it means developed countries industrialized early during the 18th and 19th centuries. Their rapid industrial growth depended heavily on burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas. As a result, these nations have contributed the largest share of historical greenhouse emissions. Okay, in this mainly high level of consumption and energy use, a large scale industrial pollutions, a major contribute to global warming over the past century. Example: USA, Europe, and Japan. Second one, number 2 point, South faces several climate impacts. South faces several climate impacts is the global South has contributed much less to emission, but suffers the most from climate change. Climate impacts faced by the South includes frequently climate impacts faced by the South includes frequently floods, droughts, and cyclones, rising sea levels, threatening coastal communities, water scarcity and food insecurity, loss of livelihoods in agriculture and fishing. Okay, some increased poverty and displacement is there. Example: what is the India, Bangladesh, African nations, small islands, stress, demand for climate justice and equity. Third point is the demand for climate justice and equity. What is the demand of climate justice and equality? Because of this unequal situation, developing countries demand climate justice. Mm, those who caused the problem should take greater responsibility for solving it. Developed nations must reduce emissions faster and provide support to proper nations. Okay, key demands include fair sharing of climate responsibilities, financial aid for adoption and mitigation, transfer of clean technology, recognition of the principle, common but different responsibilities there. Environmental equality between North and South. Uh, what is the difference between north and south? Contribute to emission aspect, north is high but south is low. Okay, capacity to handle impacts, north is strong technology and finance, but in south, globally south, limited resources is there. Okay, climate vulnerability aspect, in global north is the lower climate vulnerability is there, in south higher climate vulnerability is there. um, Main demand is maintain growth in global north, but justice equate support to global south is there. Okay. Next one is the politics of development. What is the politics of development in this? In this, the development decision shaped by global power, development paths are often influenced by powerful countries, international institutions, and global markets. Organizations such as the World Bank, IMF, and WTO play a major role in the shaping development policies in developing nations. Okay, wealth nations dominated global decision making and set rules on the trade, finance, and development governance. Some key points is that development is not equal for all countries because global power is unevenly distributed. Okay, the second one is the environmental rules may limit growth of poorer nations. Many global environmental agreements require countries to reduce pollutions and adopt sustainable practices is there. Developing nations argue that strict environmental rules can slow their economic growth because they still need industrialization, infrastructure, poverty reduction, concern of South. Okay, a developed nation become the rich through pollutions in the past. Now, environmental restriction may prevent poorer nations from achieving similar development. Is there? Okay. What is the debate? Debate development rights versus ecological limits. Environmentals may limit growth of poorer nations. Okay. Okay. Some debates. Okay. They creates a major global literacy development rights. Developing countries demand the right to grow economically to improve living standards. Poverty reduction remains their top priority. A second one is the ecological responsibility. The world faces environmental limits such as climate changes, biodiversity loss, and resource depletion. Okay. Mm, and all countries must act responsibility by protect the planet. Okay. Climate justice perspective, developing countries advocate equity in environmental responsibilities, financial and technological support from developing nations, recognition of the principle common distribution. Okay. uh, Next one is the developing countries key challenges. What is the key challenges? Poverty elevations. Poverty reduction remains the primary goal of developing nations. Large sector of the population lack access to basic health care, education, clean water, employment opportunities there in poverty elevation. A rapid urbanization is there. A rapid urbanization means developing countries are experiencing fast growth of cities due to migration from rural areas. Urban expansion creates problems such as housing, storage and slum, traffic congestion, increased air and water pollution, pressure on infrastructure and services is there. Third one is the lack of clean technology. In this, clean and eco-friendly technology means renewable energy, electrical transport, waste recycling streams are often expensive. Developing countries lack financial resources, research capacity, technical uh, expertise. Okay, what is the result? Continue depend on the fossil fuels and polluting industries, technology transfer and international support. Last one is the weak governance and en- en- enforcement. What is the environmental laws and policies exist, but implementation is often poor. Reasons include corruption, lack of monitoring systems, limited administrative capacity, and weak situation. What is the consequences? In these consequences, illegal deforestation, industrial pollution is there, some poor waste management, failure to enforcement and sustainable measure is there. Okay. uh, Next, sir, role of technology and finance sustainable development. Okay, in technology, developing countries often rarely out um, in this technology. We share some document is there. Uh, Need for green technology. But green technology includes renewable energy systems like solar and wind, some energy efficient industries. Okay, electrical transportation is there, pollution control devices, and sustainable farming technique is there. Okay, uh, importance of technology transfer. uh, what is the importance of technology transfer? Developed the nation possess advanced clean technologies. Sharing these technologies can help poorer nations grow without repeating the same pollutants path. uh, okay, climate second one is the climate finance support from developing countries. Climate impacts are more severe in developing countries, even though they contributed less to historical emission. Therefore, developing nations demand financial support from developed nations under the principle of criminal justice is there. Okay, climate climate finance is the need for binding climate resistance is there, and transit to clean energy, and protecting forest and biodiversity, and international committees is there, and green climate is there. A renewable energy expansion essential is there. What is the renewable energy expansion essential? Renewable energy is central to sustainable development because it reduce depends on fossil fuels. Okay, solar, wind, hydro, and biomass energy provide cleaner alternatives. Is there. Importance for developing nations. Meets growing energy demand, reduces air pollution, support rural electrification, promotes energy security, helps achieve climate targets. Okay, in this, next one is the Stockholm Conference in 1972. The Stockholm Conference was a landmark event in global environmental history. It marked the beginning of international cooperation on environmental protection. What is the Stockholm Conference? Is this Stockholm Conference officially called the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment, was held in Stockholm, Sweden in June 1972. Okay, it was the first major global conference focused entirely on the environmental issues. First global conference on environmental conference on environment. This was the first time that nation across the world come together to discuss the growing environmental problems caused by industrialization and development. It highlighted that environmental protection is a global responsibility. The second one is the raised awareness about pollution and conservation. In this, the conference draft that worldwide air and water pollution is there, deforestation is there, loss of wildlife and biodiversity is there. Okay, need for natural resources. Emphasis the economic development should not come to the cost of environmental nation is there. Okay, the major outcomes of the conference is Stockholm Declaration is there. This is the most important Stockholm Declaration. The conference adopted a declaration with 26 countries, 26 principles of environmental protection and sustainable development. Creation of UNEP. What is the UNEP? One of the UNEP, the one of the biggest achievement was the establishment of the United Nations Environment Program. That means UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, to coordinate global environmental activities. Okay. Uh, Third one is the global environment movement. The conference encouraged countries to form environmental ministries and laws. Okay, it became the foundation for future environmental summits like the Rio Earth Summit 1992. Okay. Uh, Next one is the Rio Earth Summit 1992. The Rio Earth Summit was one of the most important international conferences on environment and development. It strengthened the idea that economic progress must go hand with environmental protection. Is there? Introduction: what is the Rio Earth Summit? Earth Summit was officially called the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. It was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1992. Uh, Introduced the concept of sustainable development. The summit popularized the idea of sustainable development. Okay. Adapted Agenda 21 for global action. What is the Agenda 21? A comprehensive action plan for sustainable development in the 21st century. It provided guidance for countries to address issues such as poverty reduction, conservation of forest and biodiversity, waste management, sustainable agriculture, and climate change action is there. Okay. Kyoto Protocol. Next one is the Kyoto Protocol. This is the most important thing. Topic. This is the Kyoto Protocol 1997. Legally binding emission reduction targets for developing nations. Okay. In this, Kyoto Protocol is the one of the most significant international agreements aimed to the combating climate change. It was the first treaty to set legally binding targets for reducing greenhouse gas emission. What is the Kyoto Protocol? This Kyoto Protocol was adopted in 1997 in Kyoto, in Japan. Okay, it was developed under the United Framework Convention on Climate Changes. Okay, it come into force in 2005. Legally binding emission reduction targets is the uh, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen. The countries agreed to reduce emission of gas such as methane, nitrogen oxide, and carbon dioxide. Okay. Next one is the Paris Agreement. What is the Paris Agreement? Paris Agreement global effort to limit warming below 2 degrees centigrade. The Paris Agreement adopted in 2015. The COP21 conference in Paris in France. Okay. Uh, the main target is warming below uh, 2 All nations submit climate action plans is there. Next one is the Convention on Biological Diversity. This is in happened in 1992. The Convention on Biological Diversity is major international agreement. Okay, guys. Today time is up. Today we completed the development and environment in global scenario. Um, we discuss about the next block in next week. Okay, thank you. Last, I will conclude the this unit. The development and environment are introduced. A global cooperation essential and sustainable development is the green future. Significance SDGs conclusion. Development and environment are deeply introduced, and economic growth depends on natural resources, while environmental protection increases long-term sustainability. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.